These days, many new artists when getting started could care less about selling products. They only care about streaming, and I understand because it's easy to create music and release it. The rebellious artists, on the other hand, only care about the direct-to-consumer route. They're opposed to streaming. However, did you ever think about doing all of that work to release your music only to be right back at zero every month once you started getting your streaming checks? Why is that the case? Or did you ever think about your audience being too small because not enough people know your songs or have the ability to check out your work due to the fact that you only want to sell direct to consumer? Why is that? My goal is to help you understand that relying on streaming is the biggest mistake you can make in your career as you begin to grow. And rebelling and going the direct to consumer route only handicaps and stifles your growth immediately, reducing your reach and discoverability instantly. So therefore, the mistake you cannot afford to make is to pit streaming against direct to consumer. The argument is discoverability and zero profits versus cash now and crickets for tickets. And just to be clear, every artist that I'm building strategies for now sees this problem in choosing one or the other on every single strategy I've built so far. So let's tackle streaming first. Now, as your streams increase, your money goes up, but your profits decrease, right? And because of this, you rush to put out more records. But why is that? It's because an expense called your operating expenses are eating into your profit margin like this. So you can grow. So let's call them your growth expenses. This is a good problem to have. It means things are working, so don't panic. The solution is to get control of those expenses so that you can actually maintain your growth exponentially or create a product that can give you a boost of income. Streams in their nature are designed to sustain your personal record label. They were never designed to take the place of music sales. Artists understood that 20 years ago, but the public didn't. So streaming works effectively when you continue to feed the system in a consistent rhythm of releases. Now, if you do not keep up with this rhythm of releases, eventually your sustained streams will dissipate just like a note on the piano, and you will have no more revenue left to sustain your growth expenses. However, if you keep this rhythm of releases consistent, it will sustain your growth 100% so long as your music is good. It's gotta be good. You can't put out trash music, you know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna need a stockpile of records first. Then you're gonna wanna test and pick your winning records and then schedule them just like content. If this concept of a release rhythm is hard to grasp, just again, picture it just like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook stuff, right? Content consistency is key there, and the same thing goes with streaming services. The only drawback is you don't have to release every day. Once or twice a month is enough, so the music better be hitting. It better be good, you know? The goal is to understand that streams are sustaining products, but this next product is designed to boost your income. So this is why you cannot afford to make the mistake of depending on your streams alone. All of the money that you will make from streams is required to grow in the early stages, bringing your streaming profit margins down to zero. This ain't money to put in your pocket. You know what I mean? Because we gotta get the ball rolling here. Direct to consumer. Let's address this because many of you all have chosen the direct to consumer route only. You're rebelling, but as your social media audience grows and demand for your music increases, your fans get upset that they can't listen to your music right now, or they actually silently protest by disengaging from your content. This isn't hypothetical, it's actually happening to you. You just don't realize it because you can't see a silent protest. So due to the climate of instant gratification, your fans cannot wait for you to release physical music. They are not that disciplined. They want it right now. So the goal is to adopt a streaming strategy that satisfies that urge to hear the music right now, and direct to consumer is designed to give you a cash boost, all right? So everyone knows it. Major labels know it, and every business on this planet understands this, but it doesn't sustain your business, especially in the music business, all right? So we need other things to sustain. That's why I mentioned the streams earlier. Now, if you don't adopt a hybrid streaming strategy, some of your fans will grow frustrated and some will walk away, and you'll notice that your discoverability begins to drop because discovery requires word of mouth. More shareable information makes word of mouth louder. And if you release singles at the rate of one every 2 months, supported by content promotion, you can adopt a hybrid direct to consumer plan that doesn't stress your music creation. I understand that everybody cannot create music at the drop of a hat. Now, all you have to do is create a bi-monthly release plan for streaming and build up to a direct to consumer release. So you're creating demand. Does this make you bow to the streaming services? Maybe a little bit. However, does it increase your customer experience? Absolutely 100% it does. And that's the goal, That is the ultimate goal. Streaming increases the customer's purchasing experience by providing convenience to listen. Direct to consumer increases your experience by providing a cash boost. And if you do it right, giving your customers more insights and access to you. Now, so far we've covered streaming and direct to consumer, but this next part is where most artists and their teams start to thrive when they get it right, which is combining them. So stay with me. And side note, if you need a strong business foundation to run your record label with funding, grab my 60-day record label system, complete with my funding partners to build and fund yours today. Now, combining streaming with direct to consumer. Let's do it. So now you know that streams sustain your income and fund your growth, and direct to consumer gives you a cash injection. What's the problem with combining streaming and direct to consumer? It's your expectations. Your mind should not be set on money, but on the experience that you offer your customers so you can continue to make even greater experiences for more money. Your expectations should not be to get rich on your first direct to consumer album. It is only to inject a boost of cash into your operation, your personal record label. Now, if you combine the hybrid direct to consumer strategy of releasing one record bi-monthly all year, then an album once a year to start, this will maintain speed and expectations. Now, when you're just starting out, if you increase the amount of records that you release that connect to the direct to consumer product, you may find that you will get a lower payout because the demand was not built properly. However, if you build the demand properly and don't rush the release, then you can get the type of cash injection you want while effectively promoting not only the direct to consumer project, but the singles that preceded the project. So what I'm saying is you're exhausting all of the songs on the record. So by the time the record comes out, nobody really wants it because they heard everything, right? So a direct to consumer project has to be special. So you got to do the build up right. So what you need to do is you need to set a timeline. Then you need to design the promotional assets and activations. And then you need to promote and sell the experience of the product. Simple, will take time to plan. It's not the easiest thing to do. You just have to keep your mind on how the customer will experience you once they get the product. This way, your value will always stay high on the products you create, and it will be worth it. So I want you to adopt a hybrid strategy and create a product experience and sell that experience. Very, very, very simple. That's all we're doing. The goal is to truly understand that when you combine streaming with direct to consumer, it can transform your entire music career and business. The real question isn't should you do this, it's how much longer can you afford not to. Now, if you need help with devising a strategy, book a call with me. It's back open. Join our group strategy calls every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside the Music Money Makers community. Click below to book and join. If this concept of a release rhythm is hard to grasp, picture it just like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook. Remember, you don't have to release every day. Once or twice a month, it's totally fine. It's enough. You'll bow to the streaming services a little bit to increase your customer experience, but it's worth it overall. Lastly, combining these strategies isn't the easiest thing to do. You just have to keep your mind on how the customer will experience you once they get the product. This way, your value will always stay high on the products you create, and it will be worth it. So if you keep things the same, the road is going to be hard if you separate these pathways. Your motivation will be broken, and you may choose to give in or struggle forward. But the point is, don't do it to yourself. So if you were struggling with streaming only or rebelling against the streaming companies or creating a hybrid strategy, you now have info to make an informed step forward in your career. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, grab the 60-day record label system complete with funding, join the Music Money Makers community, book a call right now today, grab the free stuff, and watch this next video right over here to save your career. And I'll see you next time. Peace.